Mueller's star witness Rick Gates falls apart during cross-examination by Manafort lawyers and perjures himself, by Christina Layla for the GatewayPundit.com. Paul Manafort's legal team painted Rick Gates, a former business associate to Manafort, as a liar who embezzled millions of dollars to fund his secret life with his mistress in a blistering cross-examination Tuesday. Rick Gates previously pleaded guilty and agreed to cooperate with Mueller. He was even referred to as the special counsel's star witness. On Tuesday, the special counsel's star witness, Rick Gates, fell apart during the cross-examination and perjured himself, which is very damning for the prosecution. Gates appeared nervous on Tuesday, using the phrases, "it's possible" and "I don't recall," many times as he was grilled by Manafort's lawyers, reports The Guardian. Manafort's lawyers continued to erode Gates' credibility. At one point, Manafort's lawyer, Kevin Downing, asked Gates, "After all the lies you've told and fraud you've committed, you expect this jury to believe you?" "Yes," Gates replied. Tuesday's court transcripts are in, and it shows Rick Gates completely fell apart, lied many times, and perjured himself, which of course infuriated Judge Ellis. A lawyer who obtained Tuesday's transcripts break down the courtroom drama and show where Rick Gates was caught lying and committed perjury. Following the thread via Technofrog, one thing is clear: Gates is lying, and the special counsel has suborned perjury with their star witness. Haven't seen a witness with this bad a selective memory in a while. Yep. Reading through the cross-examination of Rick Gates in the Manafort case, one thing is clear: Gates is lying, and special counsel has suborned perjury with their star witness. Haven't seen this witness with this bad a selective memory in a while. Transcript is to follow. Defense. Do you recall when you first started giving false and misleading information to the office of the special counsel? Gates avoided directly answering that question, indicating how he was coached by the special counsel. So in other words, Mueller coached him on how to answer. Okay. Here is where Rick Gates perjured himself. Manafort's lawyer persists, and here we catch Rick Gates in his first lie. "I didn't provide false and misleading information to the special counsel's office. Their star witness just committed perjury." Wow. Yep. I didn't provide false and misleading information to the special counsel's office. Question. And then why did the Office of Special Counsel have you plead guilty to providing false information to the Office of Special Counsel? Answer. Under the one instance I did. Whoa, Judge Ellis blasts Rick Gates for lying. Defense. If you didn't lie, then why did you plead guilty to providing false information? Gates backtracks. Under one instance I did. Judge Ellis calls Gates out. Well, so previously you said you didn't provide false information. Whoa, Gates backtracks. Yep. I didn't provide false and misleading information to the special counsel's office. Then why did the office of the special counsel have you plead guilty? Under the one instance I did. Rick Gates blames his bad recollection on why he pleaded guilty to lying to the special counsel. If you didn't lie, why did you plead guilty? Gates backtracks. Under one instance, Judge Ellis. Well, so previously said you didn't provide false information. Now Gates is blaming his bad recollection on why he pleaded guilty to lying to the special counsel. You see how they can even trip you up, in a sense. Okay. But it sounds to me as you sit here today, you're not saying you knowingly, intentionally provided false and misleading information. You just had a bad recollection. Is that correct? To some extent, yes. Judge Ellis blasts Gates again for lying. Wow, this is getting weird. Now Gates is blaming his bad recollection on why he pleaded guilty to lying to the special counsel. The patience of Judge Ellis is wearing thin. Judge, you just said you just had a bad memory. Did you provide false information, or did you have just a bad memory? Gates, Your Honor, I provided false information to the special counsel prior to my plea agreement. Wow. The crooked and corrupt Andrew Weissman confronted Gates about his lies. Okay. All right. Who confronted Gates about his lies? The equally crooked Andrew Weissman. The special counsel was in a bind and had to charge their witness with lying, or they'd lose all credibility with the jury. Manafort's lawyers squeeze Gates. Wait, let's read this part. Now, do you know how the Office of Special Counsel found out that you had provided false and misleading information to them? Answer, no, I did not. Question, were you confronted by the Office of Special Counsel in an interview about providing false and misleading information? Answer, I was. And who confronted you? I believe it was Mr. Weissman. And when he confronted you, did he indicate to you that you had no chance of getting a plea agreement because you had lied intentionally during a proffer session? He indicated that in order to move forward with the plea agreement, I would have to accept a second charge. Manafort's lawyers squeezed Gates and get him to admit he knowingly and intentionally lied. Who confronted Gates about the lies? The equally crooked Andrew Weissman. The special counsel was in a bind and had to charge their witness with lying, or they'd lose all credibility with the jury. Remember Gates blaming his memory on why he was charged with lying to the special counsel? Manafort's lawyer now gets him to admit that he knowingly and intentionally lied. Even though you knowingly and intentionally lied? Yes. And subsequent to that, you did sign a plea agreement with the Office of Special Counsel, correct? That is correct. And that agreement once again requires you to provide truthful information? That's correct. This guy has zero credibility. Manafort's lawyers brings up how Gates would falsify expense reports to pay off his Amex defense. That included substantial personal expenditures. Gates avoids answering yet again. Yes, that's possible. Defense was, the defense is asking, was that the $125K you stole from a Sun Trust account? Gates, I don't know what you're referring to. Did the special counsel question you about closing his Sun Trust account? Gates, I don't recall. This guy has zero credibility. Was this the 7 times that you were talking about that you had unauthorized transfers? No, I don't believe I indicated a number with the special. Was this the $125K you stole out of the Sun Trust account from Mr. Manafort? I don't know what you're referring to. Did you not get questioned by the Office of Special Counsel about closing a DMP Sun Trust account? I don't recall. Gates gets caught in another lie. Manafort's lawyer has the notes from the special counsel's interview with Gates. It seems like Weissman caught Gates in another lie, this time about the Sun Trust account. Conveniently, Gates can't recall being confronted by Weissman. It's possible you said it, or it's possible it's a bonus. It's possible that it's both. And then when you told them the last $25,000 was used to open a PNC bank account, were you confronted by Mr. Weissman that no such thing ever happened? I don't recall. You know, the court, I'm sorry, what was the answer? What was your answer? The witness, I said I don't recall. So the court asks him again. Gates changes his language again. Now Gates is asked if he orchestrated a scheme to steal from Trump's inaugural committee. He can't recall what he told the special counsel about that either. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Gates keeps contradicting himself. Here he switches from I don't recall to it's possible when asked about submitting expenses to the inaugural committee by ripping the inaugural committee off. I'm not sure if I told them that or not, but to my recollection, the inaugural expenses were reviewed very closely. Question, did you submit personal expenses to the inaugural committee? I don't recall. For reimbursement? It's possible. Another lie. I mean, this is hilarious. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Gates keeps contradicting himself. Here he switches from I don't recall to it's possible when asked about submitting expenses to the inaugural committee. Gates denies embezzling money to pay for his secret life that was mentioned in the bench discussion at the start of this thread. Yeah. Well, you just said you just did an investment. Who is we? Myself and my wife. You and your wife? Yes. But there's another Richard Gates, right? Another Rick Gates? The Secret Life of Rick Gates, where you maintained a separate life in London, in other places throughout the country. Isn't that true? Answer. There was a period of time, almost 10 years ago, when I had a relationship, yes. Question. And over that period of time, you used money from these offshore accounts to pay for your lifestyle, your secret life? Did you not? No, I believe those were payments that resulted in bonus money that I used for that, and I used family money or money from the family account as well. Manafort's lawyers go for blood. Techno Frog here. This line of questioning is important. There is no paper trail. It's a question of whether the jury believes Gates. This jury is supposed to just believe you. Is that correct? Yes, they are. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Now Manafort's lawyers goes for blood. Defense. After all the lies you told and fraud you've committed, you expect this jury to believe you? Gates, yes. Defense, uncorroborated? Gates, yes. Oh my. Do you hope the Office of Special Counsel thinks the same way? Yes. Judge Ellis blasted Gates again after he said Mr. Manafort was very good about knowing where the money is and knowing where to spend it. Judge Ellis responds, well, he missed the amounts of money you stole from him, though, didn't he? Wow, yeah. You know what? I think the judge has had about enough. I think the judge has had about enough. He knows this is a scam of an investigation here. He knows. Yeah. So you expect us to believe you. You expect us to believe that Manafort did all this by himself. Meanwhile, you admitted to stealing money from Manafort, but Manafort didn't see it. So how could Manafort be involved if he didn't even realize that you were stealing money from him? What a crock. And I like the way that he added his family into the picture. So in other words, now they're going to go after whatever the family has there maybe. You know? What a moron this guy is. A moron. But what do they say? Once we practice to deceive something or other, I don't remember at this point because I'm like, this article took a lot out of me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.